Hey, how's it going? I have some cards. Real simple, but they'll do the job, I think. They're from the oh, it's right in front of me. The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Okay. Oh yeah, please look at my signs. You never know. You never know what I might say. Ooh, crazy. Okay, so first card I pulled was the Crow. And you'll notice that it is sitting, I mean, whatever, it's like atop by its claws a globe, which, I mean, it doesn't look like the side of the earth that I'm on, but that could be like big desert continent. I think we have big ones with chunks of desert like that. Pretty sure. I haven't checked a map because, you know, can you trust those these days? They might all say everything of America. It's wrong. I'm an American in the United States, by the way, to be clear. So, the Crow, they are very intelligent, and I would call them a silent observer, but they're not a parrot or a mynah bird. I don't know. They might have some level of capability to say words, but I think they don't really have that. Could be wrong. The point is that I feel like they're a silent observer and they're smart. So, and part of the intelligence is being like holding your tongue, which I'm a complete moron when it comes to that. They're underestimated because you think bird brain, and you don't think Einstein. When you think bird brain, you think someone with like exponentially less intelligence going on. And I think the reason why the bird is so much larger, oh my, what's happening? So much larger than the globe it's got in its talons, or that's sitting perched, that it's perched upon. It's on there, right? I think it's so that it can sort of perceive everything that's happening. Like, when I first saw it, I got the news of the world. Like, it's just like checking everything out, and like a watcher, I guess, but like, I don't know why, but keeping a tally. I suppose there's room for something like that if you go a number of different directions, narrative wise, or interpreting that. Okay, so it's interesting. Its eyes look closed, like it's in deep concentration. Oh, could be. Maybe it's not just a passive observer. Maybe it's like sending and receiving, you know, on a very quiet level, very subtle, and like in a way that it can kind of sneak in, you know, like make inroads where directness might not. Not in a sinister way, just sort of communication channel type situation to people that are open to it, you know. And on a positive level, you know, I'm like all on the up and up here, all good. It's passive observer, which, okay, so I guess that's sort of like, you know, something we should, like, my goodness, I hope you're paying attention, like, to things going on in the world right now. It's kind of exciting, kind of scary, if you let yourself go there. So the next card I pulled was this one, the wolf. And it's kind of wrong, but it's kind of right. A line from Rage Against the Machine song came to mind, and it was Rally Around the Family. What are wolves famous for? Being pack animals. They're an endangered species here in USA. Thought we had gotten that fixed, but that's right. I think last time we had this president we have right now, it is March 13th, I think, 2025. For context, so the president that we have right now, I believe, it may not have just been under his administration, it may have been under others, but I remember being so horrified by it. But I believe when he was president last time, wolf hunting was allowed to, like, pare down the numbers or something, and I just remember being really horrified by that. Like, is that really necessary? I don't think so, but hey, what do I know? And I have to confess that I was not, my horror did not send me looking in the direction of, like, I know why they said it was happening, but what it feels like is just unnecessary cruelty, like the way they want to kill off the wild horses all the time. And the area that they have to run free, both animals, is shrinking rapidly, or has been. I don't know what's happening with real estate these days, because of the presidency now that the guy has, everything's a big secret. Like, they blah 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 about transparency, but like any reporting agency, any whistleblower, like, that's a crime now. Like, not like it was popular before, but they're like removing the ability to defend against, like, fraud and abuse of financial services and things. And they just want, like, they being the current administration and consultants or whatever, they just want everything. They want to, like, possess what can be possessed. They want to, like, put in their bank account what they can. I assume. Like, I get the idea. You don't get to become a billionaire by, like, being a nice guy, like doing everything on the up and up. And the guy that's president right now has been just putting it right out there. What he does illegal for years, and people are like, yay, that guy. But we're conservatives and we got a lot of rules. Okay. All right. Why? Can't you ever just be here? Don't have to be defying gravity, for Christ. For cheese and crackers. Anyway. Rally around the family. And the rest of the line is pocket full of shells, which sounds aggressive and, like, not to use against the wolf or the horses. Wolf or the horses. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not even saying like, shoot other people. What I was thinking when I got that was, you better learn how to hunt. Like, you might have to. That's not going to be something everyone's going to do or be able to do or want to do, but you never know what necessity will drive you to, I mean, you just never know. So the next card was the gazelle. And, obviously, well, not obviously, I don't know why I said that, because you don't know what the heck I'm thinking. I gotta tell you. So, the gazelle is an African animal, and I was like, why? Because it's exotic, I think. And the reason that has to do with what I'm going to continue to say is that this would be the sun, obviously, but if you notice, there's like lines through it, and I always think that's interesting that the gazelle is having like a stylized photo shoot in a studio. But that's an impression for another day. Notice the yellowy, orangey, reddy, yolky center with the white, egg white looking surrounding area. Eggs are a big part of the conversation right now because of the price, and then like I feel like the conversation completely leaves out the reason why the prices are so high. It's not just price gouging. It's because of the bird flu. I don't know if, like, are you not allowed to say that? Because I don't know. I don't check the rules like every minute. You gotta be so careful. So the current FLEW situation, especially with so many safeguards removed and public sentiment being turned away from like medical solutions to protect yourselves and your family and your kids and all of that. You know, a lot of people are like, vaccines are bad and wrong, and I just gotta say, like, you really, you need to source your information, I think, if you're just 100% against them. I think that, like, something that was presented to me, wasn't presented to me, it was just in a conversation, but this person had a baby, and they were kind of alarmed that the baby was expected, like, I guess they wanted to give them, like, multiple shots in a day, like injections. So, and it just seems like, wow, that does sound like a hardcore chemical onslaught, because they want to do it at a pretty early age, and so that it seems like might be a bit much, but I don't know. I just know that the other side of it is that it's just traumatizing to be stabbed when at any time, but I don't know if that's, I just feel like it's early to be subjecting someone to that type of onslaught, you know, like, geez, they're so, like, fresh and new and tender. Give them a break at the very beginning, at least. Don't just start jabbing them with life. Well, I don't mean, that might have come out wrong, but I just mean the life that you're going to be living, the world you're going to be living in. Vaccinations, now there's a lot of discussion, there's a lot of suspicion, but I feel like for protective measures, like not having another COVID situation where everybody was locked in and locked down, a lot of people died, a lot of people got sick, a lot of people will have lingering effects for a long time or forever from it, because they sure can't study the effects of it now, because the health agencies that would research that type of thing are getting decimated and shut down, which is just not wise. However, all of that is going on and not really being addressed, so eggs are not only exotic but kind of risky. Like, you better hope your local mart is like good on the science with that. Like, I hope there's some kind of safety measures going on. I don't eat as many eggs as I should for my age and my health or whatever, but yeah, it's just something to really think about, I think. And the vaccine thing, there is a school of thought that we don't need any of those things to protect ourselves from disease. And I've talked in the past about being a huge fan of Dune, particularly things like the Bene Gesserit's abilities to like change their own chemical structure to like if they drink a poison, they have the capacity to like molecularly make it like inert or harmless, or just it ain't gonna kill them, it ain't gonna do what it was meant to do as a poison. So I believe that we do have the capacity to do that. What I don't think, however, is that any of us are even anywhere near close enough in touch with that type of ability. I mean, I don't know that person that can just like will that into existence, or will, you know, disease out of existence. And so, and it's also, it's like not accessible to everyone, and it's kind of impossible sounding. And kind of impossible is because I, honest to God, don't know anybody that can like deflect that. But it would have to be some kind of monk or something, you know. I don't have that kind of discipline in my life. Do you? And so there's protective measures that you can take. You don't have to have a vaccine. You can mask up, but even that is like, you can't do that. All kind of weird suspicion about that, and it goes far beyond the realm of just being about health. We got our baggage, you know. Many conversations for another day, but you get the gist, I'm sure. So, the final card I pulled was a stingray. And the thing about the stingray that I'm focusing on at this moment is that you might have a like not great association with this guy, because I don't know if you recall or would have known about the Australian my brain is telling me alligator wrestler, but that was not the name. That's just what he did. But he had like, he was like an animal guy in Australia. He had zoos that he like, you know, made from the ground up, and did animal entertainment, and had like just this great love of animals and just trust and belief in them. And that's why he would be like wrestling with gators. Wrestling. And he died like pretty young. I think he was just in his 40s maybe. Had a child and a new baby, and in fact there was a lot of uproar because his level of trust with animals like alligators or crocs, I guess, Crocodile Hunter, maybe it was what his name was, like the show, but then also like what he did. But to protect them and save them from like, you know, they end up in the wrong place and, you know, or like a danger to someone else, he would like swoop in and like rescue the animal and take them out of the situation so they didn't end up getting killed. I hope I'm not inventing that. I think that's like kind of what his bio is. You might want to check that. I don't know why. I think that's what it is. I don't know why I'm suddenly doubting myself. But anyway, the thing that he did that appalled so many people was the baby, the young kid, was still in diapers. Not an infant, but not walking yet either, like pretty young. Like, and kind of looked like a raw chicken in the diaper, really. And dude walked right over to the gator and dangled it like, you know, those things can lunge, right? I know he knows that. So he's like 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from this thing. He's like, here, look at my baby. I know that was a terrible attempt at an Australian accent, but apologies. But he was like, not, sorry, he didn't give the baby shaking baby syndrome. That's not what he did. I think what he did was do like a little, like making the baby kind of dance, like you might do with a raw chicken. And nothing happened. The alligator or the crocodile did not lunge. The reason why I'm making a difference is because I think down under their crocodiles are what they have. And like Africa, I believe, has crocodiles. And like here in Florida and New Orleans, I believe we have gators. And I know we have caimans. in Louisiana. Don't get sidetracked. So anyway, he had a great deal of trust for animals, and what finally happened to him, finally, in a final way, was he was on a boat or something somewhere in the water, or he'd gotten in the water for some reason. I think there was a boat there. I don't know why. But there was one of these, a stingray. And he went right up to it, and apparently he startled it, or somehow it felt threatened because it whipped up its tail with the stinger in it, and it ended up hitting him directly in his heart. And so, gosh, you know what? I don't even remember. Like, are they poisonous, or I don't think they're electric. So it must have been either like the actual thing that's on his tail, the little defense thing, the stinger that hit him in the heart, and that did it, or yeah, maybe that was it. Like, I don't know if they have venom or not. I don't think they do. But, you know, it's bad enough if something hits you, like, directly in the heart with, I guess, force in the right place, and that was it. He was finalized. But I guess the thing to be learned from it is, this is a water creature. Have you ever seen them in the water? They glide and swirl like a bird might, but underwater. And they do appear to have a wing situation, and they have a tail. Face is kind of messed up. They don't really have a head. So I believe the face is just all in this area. They might have some eyes, like, on top over here on the other side. Look, I am not the crocodile hunter. So, but I think the message is that, yeah, it's dangerous out there. So be cognizant of that, but don't have to just completely lose it and be fearful to the point that is dangerous in your environment. And don't get so relaxed that you're like walking up to hug a stingray or something, and it's like, you're in my bubble. I don't like that. You know, get out. You know, be cautious of who you approach, I believe is what it's saying. But also, you have the ability, like, especially in a water environment, like, if that's your mindset, you know, because obviously we're not all going to be in a pool somewhere or under the sea, but, you know, it's that go with the flow situation, you know. And the other thing that I noticed after I had pulled these things out was the icons at the top indicate this is the air element. That's how messages are carried. Like I was saying, like even the messages that you don't know you're hearing, like it might actually say something, but it's not going to be words. It's going to be like bird squawk or whatever. But you know, it's a metaphor. Like, it's hearing messages and it's sort of processing them, and like they go back out. But yeah, messages also, like in tarot, and I guess this too, travel like on the air, like on the wire. Oh my God, like a bird on the wire. Oh my. So yeah, air, earth. The animals, where do, you know, wolves live? Like, maybe they have a burrow, but I think they just are like dogs. They just kind of sit down wherever, and that's it, you know? Very rooted, like laying on the earth, very, like, yeah. Also covered with dirt and fleas and blah, 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 but, you know, they're canines, so. But, yeah, earth element there at the top. Fire there at the top, with the fiery sun-looking thing in the center there. Fire. What can I say about fire? if you've seen like a flock of, coming from someone who is a fire sign, I'll just say that I'm a cat person with like a chihuahua in here. But also, the sort of fire sign element I feel like to the gazelle, like in just gazelle natural life, is they're nervous. Like these, I think these are ruminants of some kind. Um, but they'll be in a herd and they're very sensitive to sound and scent, and it's almost like a flock of birds in the sky that sort of are going one way and then like as one unpredictably just turn in some kind of impossible direction, and it's just surprising and you're like, whoa. And I feel like you can see a whole herd of these guys like on the plain or whatever, grazing or drinking at some watering hole, which usually like watering holes are like everybody drops the hostilities because everybody's got a drink because water is not plentiful like on the plain deserty areas. And so anyway, you might see a herd of them and they like become alarmed about something, and you might see one like flick an ear and then like everybody just whoops everybody just takes off in one direction because they all got like the news like something is not right here. And for me personally, that is a very fire sign metaphor, because like you might be quiet and studious and really like paying attention to something, and then like something will happen, something will alarm you or alert you, and you're like herring off like squirrel like after something else. Or maybe it's that one thing, but you got like some kind of fire under you about it and you're off in this direction and that direction, like a conflagration. It could be thought, could be action. And then water. So I thought, I already talked about water I think a bit there. I thought, well, that's interesting that I got like the four elements. That's very like kind of grounding in a way, and like when I said simple, that's kind of like taking it to the basics, the basic elements of like our life and the world. And well, I mean, I think that we should give them a certain deference that we haven't as like humanity in a very long time. Like I don't think we're very, very much in touch with our natures, let alone nature. And that might be a problem. That might be like kind of like a symptom of stuff that is happening now. Just a thought. So, yeah, chew on that, I guess. Thank you and good night.